Okay, so we all know today's AI, right? We use ChatGPT, we've all seen those incredible images it can whip up. But here's the thing, that's just the starting line. What we're going to do now is look past all the current hype and really explore where AI is headed over the next decade. What's coming after this? So, here's our game plan. First, we'll touch on the AI we're all familiar with. Then we'll get into a new, more focused model that's kind of quietly emerging. After that, we're going to take a leap into the future with something called intention models, get a sneak peek at the whole AI ecosystem of the 2030s, and then wrap up with why, our role in all this is so critical. And really, this is the big question, isn't it? We've seen an AI that can answer just about anything you throw at it. But what about an AI that helps us ask better questions, about ourselves? That's the real destination here. That's where all of this is headed. All right, so before we jump into the future, we have to get really clear on where we're standing right now. Let's set the baseline with the tech that has, let's be honest, completely taken the world by storm. And that starting point is, of course, the LLM, the large language model. You know these guys, ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini. These are the AIs trained on just a mind-boggling amount of stuff from the internet. And their superpower? It's their sheer breadth. They're absolutely fantastic for brainstorming ideas, whipping up drafts, basically anything that needs a big dose of creativity. But while the LLMs are grabbing all the headlines, there's this quieter, much more focused revolution happening in the background. A whole new category of AI is starting to pop up. And here's the kicker. It's designed to solve one of the biggest headaches we have with today's models. And this is just a perfect way to think about it. An LLM? It's like a brilliant improv partner. Super creative, lightning fast, but yeah, sometimes it just makes stuff up. This new model, though, it's more like a really thoughtful librarian. It's not going to invent an answer. It's going to go find the exact book, the exact page, the exact source for you. So, what is it? It's called an SLM, or a Source Language Model. And here's the huge difference from an LLM. It's not trained on the entire internet. No way. It's trained only on the specific stuff you give it, your documents, your notes, your research, and that's the whole game changer, right? It literally can't hallucinate. Its answers are always grounded in the material you provided, and it can point you right back to the source. And here's what's so cool about this. The term source language model is so new you can barely even Google it yet. We've got tools out there like Google's Notebook LM that already work this way, but the official name for the category, it hasn't really stuck yet. We're literally watching the vocabulary for the next phase of AI get invented right in front of us. Okay, so if SLMs are all about grounding AI in truth, in facts, the next big leap is about grounding it in purpose. We're moving from an AI that just knows what you've read to one that actually starts to understand why you're reading it in the first place. This table really lays it all out. You've got the LLM, our creative improv partner, then the SLM, our super factual, thoughtful librarian, and then we get to the next stage, the ILM, or intention language model. And this is something totally different. Think of it like an inner coach or a compass. It's an AI that's trained on your goals, your values, your personal reflections, all to help guide your own growth. And look, this isn't just science fiction, okay? There's a pretty plausible roadmap for how we get there. Right now, 2024 to 2026, we're seeing these SLMs really mature. Then, by the late 2020s, we could start seeing the very first versions of these intention language models. And by the time we hit the 2030s, the idea of having an AI as a truly personal co-pilot for your life, that could be totally normal. So what does that world, the world of the 2030s, actually look like? If you have all these different kinds of AIs, how do they all work together? Well, that brings us to this idea of a future AI stack. Not just one AI, but a whole ecosystem of specialized intelligences all working in harmony. Okay, this is where the vision for the 2030s gets, kind of wild and absolutely fascinating. I know there's a lot here, so let's just walk through this. This is a speculative stack, but just imagine it. You could have an ELM, an embodied language model, that's hooked up to your smartwatch to understand your physical experience. Then an NLM, a narrative language model, that helps you actually see the story arc of your own life. After that, a GAM, a generative alignment model, that helps you co-design your future, like a simulator for your life choices. And then an LAM, a large action model that can actually do things in the real world. Book the flight, order the stuff you need. And maybe sitting on top of it all, a WLM, a wisdom language model,
trained on philosophy and ancient texts to help you ask the really deep questions. See, the vision isn't one giant all-knowing AI, it's a whole stack of specialized AIs working together for you.
I know, this future sounds incredibly exciting, but let's be real, it's also maybe a little intimidating, right? And that's exactly why this last part is so important. We can't just be passengers watching this happen. We really need to be in the driver's seat.
And this quote right here, it just hits the nail on the head. You can't govern, critique, or evolve what you can't name. Why do we just spend all this time defining SLMs and ILMs and that whole crazy stack? Because how can we possibly have a real conversation about the kind of AI we want? The rules, the values, the guardrails, if we don't even have the words for it. Naming these things isn't just academic. It's the very first step to actually consciously shaping where this all goes.
Which leaves us with one last, and I think really critical question. The AI of the 2030s isn't some distant fantasy. It's being built right now. The decisions being made in labs and in boardrooms today are pouring the concrete foundation for it. None of this is inevitable. It's going to become whatever we decide to build. So the question for all of us is, who, or maybe what, do we want it to be? That is the conversation we absolutely need to be having.